Hey guys, DVSGames here, welcome back to another video. So I have been playing into the gold Conquest mode with the Dino Collector deck that I originally had. I did show you guys this a while back, but just as an update, I guess, we'll go ahead and take another look at it. I have updated it a few times. It's probably a version 5 or 6 now. But the amount of high Evo decks that are in Gold Conquest is absurd. So I actually took out Iceman to go ahead and add in Luke Cage, as we just recently acquired him. Hey, we can frame break him. We'll go ahead and do that. And it has dramatically increased my matchup against high Evo. So that's awesome. I did want to go ahead and show you guys a couple of the matches that I'm going up against. So let's see what we get from here. Hey, we get a cool Iron Fist. That's alright as well. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into our first matchup. Go ahead and open up Conquest, and here we are. So I got a couple of tickets here. Like I said, I've been playing in gold, but haven't really recorded anything. Basically, I've been pretty much getting destroyed. I have won one of my tickets for Infinity. Greatest thing about starting off in gold is you get those 40 tokens right off the bat. And these, I am going to warn you guys, are long matches. Unfortunately, these players have got better decks than I do. They've got higher collection levels, and a lot of it comes down to RNG on my part. I'm using things to throw some luck my way, such as Cable to draw cards out of their deck, you know, take some of their stronger cards, and maybe I can use them on my side. In this case, you'll see Luke Cage is great because of Jotunheim. He's running a collector bounce deck, I think it is, at this point. I haven't really identified it yet, but I will let you know that Iceman destroys me throughout the course of the game. Now, just because we know that Kiln is going to go ahead and close up on turn 4, we do end up needing to play into it. He has Collector in there, which means that he can get bigger. So, kind of an issue for us, but not really anything we can do about right now. So, now we can go ahead and reveal that we are both at 10. That's where we're at. We'll drop Collector mid, or, well, we can't drop mid, we have to play left. So now we're going to go with our Collector plan, and we're just going to try to get as many cards in hand as possible. Again, Iceman's back. He does a little bit more damage to my mana curve, or my energy curve. And yeah, this first round is pretty rough. I decide to go ahead and snap, or he snaps on me, I think it is, and I have to retreat. I know I'm not going to win. He can play multiple cards again and get right back up to where he was. So here we are in round 2. We open up with New York, which adds a little bit more trickery to it, because you can move cards around and make your last play a lot different than what somebody's expecting. So with Rickety Bridge, I'm not worried about my Sentinel dying, just because of the fact that I can get more. So I throw him out there, and I figure if he sticks around a couple of turns, maybe I'll throw out Scarlet Witch to blow it up. The vault is the last location, so we'll go ahead and throw our Collector in here. And the Kitty Pryde Angela is a really, really good combo. Makes both of them get huge over the course of the game. But here I'm going to have to load up in the vault, so I go ahead and throw in a Sentinel. I throw Scarlet Witch onto the bridge. I didn't draw the Moon Girl that I wanted, so that I could double up on my dinosaurs. So we're going with plan B now. And as you can see, he is definitely working on that bounce. So for us, it's a matter of not getting destroyed now. And we go ahead and we have to rethink this a little bit. I mean, at this point, this is probably our best play, and then we can double dino down the middle. We end up with a decent sized collector. Definitely looks like he's going to go for the win. And of course, Dino gets hit again by the Iceman. Like I said, this Iceman just really, he did the trick this time around. Now I know for a fact that he's probably going to end up winning the vault unless we go ahead and play out other cards. The original plan was double dino down the middle to win, but instead what we do is we move out our cable, or we move out our Scarlet Witch, and we load up into the middle and onto the end. This is that trickery that I was talking about. We're able to not really get a little bit of extra power. The power pretty much stays the same, but we're able to draw more cards and get our collector to be a little bit stronger, and overall it ends up winning us the match. We got 14 power in the mid, and we're able to get our collector up to 8 power, which just barely takes us over the top of him. Really close match, but it takes him all the way down to 2 cubes. We're great. We're happy with it. Going into round 3, could be a quick match for us. We should be all right. Spoiler alert, guys, it's not. So cloning that with this deck in particular is actually really good. It allows us to get multiple cards that we can draw with. Now we got that Deathlock, and this game is going to show you the total inexperience that I have playing other decks, just because of the fact that I haven't gotten used to the other cards. But obviously Morag is a great place. It's a great location. It's hard to work with. We pulled Hella. I wasn't sure what she was doing, so I had to double check her text. Now, the snapping on his part is not necessarily a good or bad thing. In all reality, all it does is it really forces him into a game where he has to play it out or retreat right away. But with Cable, we're able to take multiple resources from him. We're able to maintain our hand size for our double dino. And here comes his Iceman again, dealing more headaches, I guess is what he's doing. He's causing a lot of headaches with his increasing my energy cost. And here's my first misplay. I played Deathlock into the middle, where I probably should have just played a Sentinel into the middle to get more power in there. This gives me 5 power. The Sentinel would have given me 5 power as well, but it would have also given me some card advantage. And now, just because I have the hood in hand, I should have dropped the hood into cloning that so that I could get a demon out of it. But yeah, remember when I said that my inexperience comes into play here? Definitely coming into play here. As you can see, Moongrove fills up my hand. The hood gives me no demon, and I just lowered my power in Morag. With him bouncing everything around, he's got multiple Kitty Prides out there now. My Dino's just not going to be enough to cut it. And, I mean, at this point, this is definitely a retreat for me, but I'm stubborn, I guess is all I can say. So yeah, final turn. He ends up unleashing a ton of kitty prides. Yet another Iceman to go ahead and hit me again. And yeah. Alright, so round 4. You would have thought I learned the lesson, right? Nope, not at all. Shuri's lab off to the left, so we're going to go ahead and start off to the right. Now, here comes Iceman. First off, 4 power. Froze up one of my cards in hand. Sure, no problem. We know he's going to do that. So I drop out Collector. And he drops out Falcon, who picks up his Iceman. Who's already at 4 power. Remember that. That becomes very, very important here shortly. Turn 3, I decide that I'm going to go ahead and start working on my Sentinel. On my Collector by dropping out Sentinel. Now this will also give me a little bit of power in the location. But again, here comes Iceman. And now he's 8 power. So this is like a souped up kitty pride. And he drops the Collector into Bar Sinister. Now this was a strategy I hadn't thought about. And it did definitely open my eyes a little bit. So I will keep this in mind for the next time I see it. I'm thinking in my head like, okay, no big deal. He's hit me a couple of times with the Iceman. I should be alright, but of course not. Beast comes out. Beast boosts everybody back up, puts it back in his hand. I have a full hand now. I've got a lot of power in Shuri's lab. But again, it's not quite enough because if he drops Iceman, that becomes plus 16. And I didn't do the math. I didn't think about it. I should have learned my lesson right after the first time he did it. And again, I can't understand why I can't play things, and I realize that Crimson Cosmos literally nullifies the majority of my hand. So I go ahead and drop 1 White Queen. And he just drops out his entire hand. He again, of course, hits my Medusa, which is, fun. And from here, again, it's pretty much a loss. There's really nothing I can do here. Really, the only thing that I can do is retreat. And yeah, I do, because that's just a horrible loss. So here we go. Next round. Still fighting the same guy. Like I said, these guys' decks are way, way superior to mine. Can't take anything away from them in that aspect. And this game in particular, we're about to lose our hands thanks to Atlian, but Kamartaj is amazing for us. It allows us to pull multiple cards out of the bottom of their deck. Again, it's amazing for him because it allows his Iceman to completely wreck us. So, hands are gone. Oh well. We're going to go ahead and replenish with our Sentinel. At the same time, it's going to boost our Collector, so that's awesome. Beast takes Iceman back, so we know he's coming back to deal a little bit more, raise a little more havoc on our side. So we'll go ahead and drop our Dino right now. just because we want to get him out of hand so that he doesn't get forced to be a turn 6 play. We have Doom in hand, which means that we have a turn 6 play. We're good with that. And he loads up on Kamartaj, so definitely can be an issue. Again, Iceman comes back. This time we got lucky. He hit our Sentinel twice, and Hitmonkey gets pretty big. Now, for some reason, we took America Chavez from his deck, and I'm not sure why, because we don't have any effects that would give it to us. But, I mean, all in all, it doesn't really affect us, I don't think. So, plotting out the best course of action, there's really nothing that we can do other than Doom into Taj, which will give us 10 power total. And again, as you can see, as he's building up his left location, there's nothing we can do about it. So yeah, we take a loss in this one too. Here we are in round 6. We are definitely in sudden death. He's got 2 cubes left. We've got 1 cube left. And of course he's back. So Iceman comes in, bumps up our Scarlet Witch. Savage Lion comes out, kind of clutters the board. Normally I don't like the cluttered board, but in this case, definitely it is worth it. It kind of slows him down just a little bit. Again, he's got a bounce deck though, so it's not going to do as much as we want it to. So we're going to go ahead and start playing cards into the big house, starting with Collector. Drop White Queen off in New York, just because we know that's going to give her some... That's going to give us some power there, but of course his Collector is also getting huge from the Beast bounce. Now we did pull his Bishop, which is awesome because we drop Bishop left into the big house, and then we go ahead and start playing out the rest of our cards. That'll draw us cards and get us both a bigger Bishop and a bigger Collector. And of course we want to leave one spot open just because we have Doom in hand. If possible, that'll let us sneak an extra card into the big house, as well as get some more power on the other locations. So now in all reality, what we probably should have done here, since we are already winning, is we should have moved the Bishop over to New York so that we can play in our Doom, and that would have given us 10 power there. Would have made it 18. I don't know why I overthought this so much, but in all reality, I think this is yet again another mistake, another misplay on my part. And again, here, I thought I won. Somehow my math was not up to par. So yeah, again, lesson learned. So now we're literally in sudden death. I've had him on the ropes since literally, what was it, round 2? And 5 rounds later, he's still fighting for his infinity ticket, which, you know, props to him, because yeah, that's definitely that definitely made this a really, really long match. Again, here with the Agent 13, we end up getting nothing off of it. Jotunheim's a bad location for both of us, but I do happen to have the Luke Cage in my deck, so I'm not super worried about it. I get an Iceman, so I'm gonna give him some of his own medicine. I don't think it really matters because I believe he plays it on this turn as well. Oh no, he doesn't. Okay, but yeah, I'll take it. Now Adam Warlock lets us get into the Quinjet, which is great. So we drop a Moon Girl here, not here, on the next turn, which is a horrible misplay. I shouldn't have done it, just because of the fact that I don't have an empty hand. And really, at this point, I'm just trying to keep my hand full. So, going into turn 5, we go ahead and drop our dinosaur so that we can pretty much guarantee our right side. And of course, we're gonna pretty much be giving up that left side, because if dinosaur were to go left, then we'd have the chance to take it. But instead, he went with bishop over there, which is a formidable answer. And now for us, all that we can do really is play out a few cards, try to keep the right location, as well as try to win the middle. Now at this point, our best bet is to simply drop multiple cards. And what we should do is... See, I really want to play the collector out, and that's actually a bad thing. I don't want him in the right. I pretty much gotta get rid of the left location and go everything right. This will allow me to draw a card, which Rogue comes out, freaks me out. Luckily, it hits the Quinjet. This entire match came down to luck on that very last play. You hit the Quinjet, not the Devil Dinosaur, which allowed me to get just enough power on the right location and get a decent lead on the middle. So we're good with this. We appreciate this fight. This was really, really good. But yeah, 7 rounds for our first round, our first battle. It's pretty long. So we'll take it. We'll take our gold. And now we'll go into our next battle for 100 medals. I'm going up against Llama Man. I think I played him before, but I played him on ladder. The name sounds very familiar. Of course, the names can be interchanged, and you don't know who you're really playing up against. But here we get Agent 13 on turn 1. I probably should have waited to play until after the collector. Nowhere's a kind of bad location, because we have a lot of on reveal effects. But I mean, it's not really gonna bother us. We can play our Double Dino in there. We can play our Luke Cage. We can play our Quinjet. We're alright with it. Dropping Moon Girl in the middle so that we can get the collector some more power. Seems good. And the fact that he drops while in ongoing, of course that is going to be such a pain, because that means that he's going to get 4 procs of whatever he does. I'm really hoping that he doesn't drop either White Tiger or Ironheart this turn, just because that's going to be so much of a headache. So I drop out Professor X, and he Black Panthers. Black Panther gets huge. I think he's up to 64 at the end of this. Yeah. I probably should have left right here, but I was thinking in my head, like, what's he gonna drop? He can drop the White Tiger, pretty much. I think maybe an Odin, Not too worried about it. If he drops White Tiger and Thor's Hammer, I lose. So I just put power over here thinking he's going to drop White Tiger. Nope, he drops Taskmaster. Taskmaster's a thing. Taskmaster's a big thing. And I lost. I lost 4 cubes right off the bat. So yeah. Round 2, we get in. We start off with Quinjet on the right. Central Park, again, it's going to cause issues. So we got Lamentus 1, which is great. Because, yeah, we have no deck no more. So the Cable in my hand is a dead card. I just kind of got to go with what we got. Then we get Adelan, which is kind of good. It allows us to actually draw cards out of his deck with our Cable once we draw them again. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to fill up our hand so we actually have somewhat of a deck to play with, I guess. It's not really advantageous to us to have a deck, but we definitely do want a hand. So we're going to go ahead and just put it out there. Now, the good thing is that he got Mjolnir into his deck and then his hand went away. So now he's not just going to pull it right off the bat. So I'm trying to spread out my power here. I want to make sure that I have a chance to win a location before I drop Devil Dinosaur into it. We get really lucky here. The Collapse Mine definitely helps. Because at this late in the game, we're not trying to skip turns. So now at this point, we drop Devil Dinosaur here. No, we don't. No, at this point, I just skip. I entirely skip my turn just in case. I wanted to see what he was playing out, and he drops Panther. So for us, it actually opens up a spot. But that wasn't something that I did on purpose. I wasn't planning on playing something into that spot. But it does work out for me because Devil Dinosaur here, even though he's little, is able to get a decent amount of a lead, a decent enough lead. And then Odin triggering Mjolnir, again, not affecting us. But the Ironheart, I just don't want him to double hit into the right lane. And he does it. I get lucky. We end up pulling those 4 cubes back. And here we are in our next round. Starting off the match, we got a decent hand. So we just skip our turn 1. Collector out on turn 2. We'll drop Medusa middle on turn 3 along with Agent 13. Now we pull his Mystique, and the Mystique is a thing. Not a great thing, but a thing. It'll go really good if we're able to pull Devil Dino right now. And of course we didn't, so we're just gonna Moon Girl out, get our collector to a decent size. And now we'll go ahead and start dropping out our cards. And we know he's got Odin in hand. Gambit comes out. Of course, this is pretty bad for us. He ends up taking out our right side. We're still winning middle, and we're gonna win. Well, we're gonna win middle regardless. I overthought this way too much. The correct play is to go ahead and just drop out Spider-Man and maybe Agent 13. It's not necessary to drop the Odin, but we did, and it's good enough because it gets our power up high enough to avoid the 13 power Black Panther on this location. So we get lucky on this win, but we take the 4 cubes back. So now we're up 62 on him. And again, going into this match, round 4 becomes a game. We have Limbo. So obviously we're both planning for a turn 7 game. For us, it's not that bad. We got Dr. Doom. We can drop on 6 or 7 now. But then we draw into Scarlet Witch, which becomes my new plan. I'm going to drop Scarlet Witch on 6 to go ahead and get rid of Limbo. So I just need to make sure that I'm winning there. Gambit comes out, kills the Quinjet, of course. Not going to make it easy on us. We can drop Collector here and Sentinel. And we can get our power back up in that location. We definitely want to make sure that we're winning 2 lanes at this point. Now on turn 5, everything goes up by 1, so we go ahead and drop White Queen out to the left. And we've got 3 2 costs in our hands, so we've got a turn 6. We should be good to go. As you can see, he played Rescue, so Rescue is going to go ahead and get buffed up in that corner. We pull his Odin, so we know he's going to Odin something. Exactly what is he going to Odin, we don't know, but it's coming next turn, and you know what? We're not worried about next turn. We're just going to go ahead and play out like so. We want to make sure we win the middle location, and this is our best shot. So again, unfortunately, it's kind of a cheap win, but I'll definitely take it. His Shang-Chi comes out, destroys our monster, but we're alright with it. Good game to Llama Man. And only 4 rounds for that one, so definitely a lot easier than the last time, but still, it's 4 down. 1 more game to go. We're going into battle number 3 for 150 medals. And we're up against Exy. Now, unfortunately, I told you guys that I was battling a lot of high Evo decks in Gold Conquest. And I'm not sure what happened, but none of them showed up this time. Starts off with a Yondu. Takes out my Devil Dinosaur, so he knows what I'm playing. I'm not exactly sure on what the meta decks are, so I'm not sure what Yondu's in. But I do find out fairly quickly. He allows me to play out a few cards of my own. We get Superflow, of course. Superflow is not something I can utilize at this point, so that's not fun. But it's not a big deal. We'll just go ahead and continue playing out what we have. Now we do get a Shang-Chi, so I'm hoping that maybe I can utilize it somewhere. And he plays that Hobgoblin, which really cripples us. Now again, I'm not sure exactly what deck this is, because I don't know what runs Yondu and Hobgoblin. And I'm not sure if this is normal, or if this is just something that he decided to throw in, because I'm also seeing Death in here. And of course, here's the big reveal. I get Galactus, and yeah, that's pretty bad. So right off the bat, I'm losing these 2 cubes. There's nothing I can do about it. I've got 1 slot left, and the biggest card in my hand is Death, which is his card, and he also has it in his hand. Alright, so here we go. We get into round 2. Bar with No Name pops up. I'm super thankful for this because that means nobody wants to play into it. But I have Scarlet Witch in hand, so I'm alright with it. But I also know he's got Galactus, so he's probably not going to want to play into it either. He probably doesn't care. So he'll just leave it alone, and then he'll play right location. Saying the Wolverine makes a lot more sense. I would have realized it a lot faster that way. And Orchis Forge is great for us with Collector, since I'm pretty sure he's going to play out there. I'm going to go ahead and try to boost up my Collector's power and make it so that he can't beat me with only one card. Now, he plays Doc Ock here, and this is horrible for me, but he does get my Scarlet Witch, which blows up the board and turns it into Aunt May's. So again, kind of a problem, but my Doctor Doom also comes through, so now I've got 9 power there. He can't beat it. His only choice now is to try to play Galactus into it and move over into Orochi's Forge. So I drop my Agent 13 there to give me just a little bit more power. I'm assuming that's what he's going with on this very next play. So I snap into it to make sure that we're going to get 4 cubes off the board right here. I was right. He does go for the Galactus play, but the Galactus doesn't make it into the lane. And he doesn't think he can win now because, again, I've got more than 12 power on the right. He can't win both the middle and the left, so I think this kind of just freaked him out a little bit, or he had to redo the math, so he had to leave. He retreats. We get the 4 cubes. We're okay with it. Into round 3. We get Hellfire Club on the left, so obviously he can play into it. Strange Academy works out good for us if he drops anything into it, but he's not going to, so we're going to play heavy into it. And we get Bifrost, which is going to move everything over. So, again, we're alright with stuff. I want everything on the right. He's got Electro there. I just want to try to maintain a hand size while I have Double Dino, because that way I can actually play him out. It looks like he's going to do this on 5 now with Electro. So we're actually going to blow up Bifrost, and we're just going to put power everywhere. Now for us, it turns into Kiln, which is great for us. Again, he ends up pulling all 3 of our cards into it, so maybe not the best for us. Obviously, we're going to win the location, but the problem with it now is that he can Galactus on either left or right. And at this point, we don't have anything we can fight back with, so I just try to make sure that I have more power than him in case he tries to Galactus this turn. Which I thought he did, and instead he Spider-Man'd. So I was like, okay, well, I got Doom. I don't know what I have here to fight with. Doom plus Mortal will win, but if he drops Death, I lose, so I decided not to go with it. And I retreated. Looking back, I probably should have played it out because I was winning one location. But he could have played out 2 cards. I mean, either way, it was a bad matchup for me. Here we get Shuri's Lab, so he can drop Doom. Doom will be 24. Or Doom will be 14. He can drop Death, and Death will be 24. We got Titan out, which lets him play it on turn 5. And we'll go ahead and load up Shuri's lab to try to get some power there. You can definitely see he wants to go into Titan with his Galactus, so I go ahead and I Scarlet Witch, which is the best play I could have done. Turns into Asteroid M, which pulls his wave over, which now ruins the Galactus plan. Now he's got to go with the Death plan. And assuming he's got it in hand, that definitely does make it a little bit more complicated for me. So I Moon Girl into Shuri's lab, knowing that I can double up her power, boost up my collector, and now we're at a decent fighting weight in both corners. So we got middle and we got right, and he decides it's too much for him. He's got to retreat, so he takes off. Good for us. Going into round 5, we're now in the high stakes round. So in all honesty, I'm up on cubes. I could snap here right off the bat just to make it a little bit more nerve-wracking for him, but at this point, it's not something that we're probably going to end up winning right off the bat. Galactus is not the easiest matchup for us. So I hold on to my double dino. I know that I can play it out into his Galactus that he pulls out on the right. So I just kind of start emptying my hand a little bit. He's got Electro, so obviously he can do this if he needs to. I'm going to Scarlet Witch and try to blow up the Fist Tower. Hopefully we get something else out of it. We get Miniaturized Lab, which is great for us. It slows us down for one more turn, but he gets Hobgoblin, and the Goblin jumps over to my side, so obviously that becomes an issue. Turn 5, there's really nothing I could have done here. I dropped the Sentinel, but in hindsight, now that I'm looking back at it, I really should have gone ahead and dropped the Chavez out on the left. Because here I'm really looking at him playing the Galactus. So he goes for the Octopus. Octopus doesn't work. I go for Dino over here on the right. And for the Sentinel on the left. He plays out Death. And we get out our Dino. Our Dino doesn't have enough power though. Like I said, I was focusing more on Galactus than anything else, so that was something that came back to bite me. Drops us down to 3. He's now got 4. Definitely becomes a fight. Start off with Quinjet. We'll drop it left. Second turn, we'll go ahead and drop our Medusa. No, we hold on to Medusa because we have the Agent 13, so we'll get 2 cards out of it. And then Shadowland. Okay, so now he's got to play into the left, which means that he'll have 10 power. And again, that'll definitely help him out. So we got to start working on getting more power into the left location. Now we get the Ironheart, so we decide at this point it's time to go ahead and drop White Queen. And White Queen will definitely give us a little bit more power here, so we're okay with that play. We get the Death out of his hand, so now we know he's got Death in hand, plus he's probably gonna go Galactus. So yeah, we're gonna fill up locations. He can't play Galactus at this point anymore, so that's a good thing for us. we're ready for it if he does. He ends up having to retreat because this is a no-win situation for him. So now we're into round 7. And I told you guys before, Kamartaj is a great location for us. Apparently it's really good for him too. Yondu goes ahead and takes out 2 of our cards right off the bat. Now granted, they were... Moon Girl was a big hit, but Agent 13, she's a good star of the deck. She brings in a lot of cards just because of the fact that you don't know what I'm playing. But we end up getting the null, and now we're going into a 4-turn match, which for me ends up being purely luck. So I go ahead and I just start spreading out my power left to right. Sentinel in one location, he's able to get Electro in one location. I think what he's trying to do here is he's trying to win by dropping just as much of the power as he can, but then he ends up dropping Doc Ock, which I'm not sure why he did it, but I got really lucky because he ends up pulling the Hobgoblin out of my hand that I just got with White Queen. So yeah, definitely made it a quick play for us. Definitely a fun game, but definitely not a 100% matchup. I know that I won this one mostly on luck, very little skill required, and I mean, in all reality, it was fun. I enjoyed it, and I'll take credit for the win. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this Gold Conquest fight, I guess you would call it, match. I did get my Infinity ticket, so I'll go ahead and make another recording for that. However, it's obviously going to be super long. I really hope that you guys get something out of this, and thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one. Laters.